A lot has happened in the Bay Area realty scene over the last few months. More home sellers are using security cameras to spy on buyers during the showings. Real estate investors under for San Mateo County sites the peninsula real estate draws a big time buyer for a choice site along the bay. More Californians living downtown. Apple buys a big Sunnyvale building, solidifying a Silicon Valley presence. California is running out of money for emergency rental relief, and biggest story of them all, will the market finally crash in 2022? In this episode, we will also look at the inventory and mortgage rate predictions from economists for 2022, along with the latest realty trends in the happening counties of the Bay Area. If you have the property related queries, please leave your comments below. And if you're planning to buy or sell a home in the Bay Area, I'm the trusted realtor you are looking for. It's a billion-dollar question that needs careful introspection. Are we in a housing bubble or a boom? Well, there are two factors that appear to ensure that there will be no housing market crash in 2022. The rising mortgage rates and a low inventory will take care of that. Fannie Mae's 2022 outlook clearly states a severe shortage of homes for sale, which are limiting interest rate effects on home sales and housing prices of housing inventory. Compared to 20% growth rate, Fannie Mae predicts 7.9% in 2022. However, this is still a double the average historical growth rate. If you want to buy, remember that the prices may not fall and may actually increase, but not as much as they did last year. If you're looking to buy and are ready financially, buy new rather than later. Remember, timing the market might be a costly affair to you. Please also don't forget that the average 30-year mortgage rate of 3.3% is still an irresistible deal. The lumber is way more precious now than ever before. So yes, low inventory will continue to be a problem in 2022. According to experts, let's get some perspective here. The supply of homes for sale across the US as a percentage of occupied residential inventories has historic low of 1.19% against a historical average that is more than double of that at 2.5%. Take that to mean only 119 homes for sale out of every 10,000. Like last year, supply chain issues will also continue to be a problem in 2022. Some of the issues could be the increasing cost of construction materials and even the stuff that goes into the manufacture of lumber. Not that 2020 prices were better, the lumber prices added nearly $30,000 to the price of an average new single-family home, according to the National Association of Home Builders. Experts contend that it's not easy to suddenly increase our building capabilities to create more inventory. What is also causing the low inventory shortage is the housing tenure. It's now crossing 10 years. In such a scenario, there's practically no incentive for any homeowner to sell their property because there is a problem. Which homes are they going to buy when inventory is so low? Home buyers have one more thing to worry about these days. In one latest survey, nearly a third of sellers have admitted to using the home cameras to eavesdrop on buyer conversations during home tours. While increasing interest rates and rising home prices are already taking a toll on the home buyers, there is another issue they have to look into now. This is again made possible particularly in the Bay Area due to the influx of the latest home surveillance systems. According to some statistics, about 9.4 million homes in the US have bought Wi-Fi enabled home cameras, while 2020 witnessed the purchase of 8 million video doorbells. This trend does not end here. In the survey, 53% of homes had a smart speaker, but let's be clear one thing. It's not the sellers intentionally installed the security cameras. They were around even before they decided to sell their home. However, the moment the property is on the market for sale, it presents a legal issue. The idea of spying on the buyers is not for nefarious agenda. It's only to understand the buyer's preferences that could help the sellers during negotiations and devising a sales strategies. While the privacy laws vary by state, most states allow video surveillance without audio, so long as the cameras are not planted inside the bedrooms and the restrooms. Audio recording is another minefield depending on the state. The law clearly stipulates that in a two-party consent state, everyone in the video frame should consent to the recording. In a one-party consent state, one party's permission is enough, provided the party is a part of the recording. If the sellers violate the state laws, buyers can press both civil and criminal charges against them. There is another issue at the stake here. Recording may also make the buyer either avoid the house tour altogether or be guarded about what they say during the house showing. I go for the second one. What do we say during house showing? In one survey, in the hidden cameras, it was found that 44% of buyers prefer to avoid homes that were under surveillance. Another 56% contended that it amounted to invading their privacy, and the sellers should refrain from it. Boy, this friend is quite something, isn't it? Tell me your comments below. Mortgage rates remained immobile last week. However, mortgage applications went up by 1.4%, but the refinance submissions fell by 0.1%. What's more important is that the consumer price index recorded its highest annual level in 4 decades with a 7% increase in 2021. Economists predict the higher the mortgage rates and the home prices are going to keep buyers away. The inventory will also grow more than the last year. The home price annual growth rate of 15% will come down to 8% in 2022, according to experts. What's more, the economists predict that the home price growth will further come down to 4% in 2023. To just give you historical perspective, between 2010 and 2020, the US market recorded a home price growth of 5%. By that yardstick, 2022 will still see the prices rising, but not as quickly. But we have to remember one thing, even if we don't believe any of these predictions, every seller is also a buyer. So no matter what, people are still going to need to buy homes with the pandemic. People are more in need of spacious homes so they can work at home while their kids study from home. Realtors like us have one advantage that the layperson does not. We have access to the MLS listings that give a granular look at the reality scene in the 5 happening counties of the Bay Area, with forward-looking market metrics like change, pending, and sold. You get a ringside reality view that could help you before you attempt to buy or sell any property. The MLS data highlights the new, pending, and sold listings from 2020 to 2022. So you get an idea of the realty market's highs and lows. Let's start with Santa Clara, the market leader in real estate in the Bay Area. With over 1,200 active listings, 36% new and 19% pending, 20% of the properties on the market was sold last week. San Mateo is the next with only half the active listings as Santa Clara. And that is still the second best county in the Bay Area with 25% new listing, 12% pending, and 16% properties sold. Monterey figures next with 445 active listings, 74 new, 36 pending, and 37 sold. Santa Cruz takes the 4th spot among the 5 counties of the Bay Area that I'm covering this week. Out of the 282 active listings, 48 were new, 25 were pending, and 25 were sold. San Benito County is the last at 101 active listings. 11 were new, 7 were pending, and 11 properties were sold. In the last 3 weeks, I covered Santa Clara, San Mateo, and Monterey. This week, I'll cover the remaining 2 counties in a great detail for single-family homes. In the San Benito, the average days on the market came down by 32% from 41 days in January to 28 days in December, with all the properties getting sold by then at 102.5% higher than the list price. The months of inventory or the average time for all the properties to get sold in the county came down from a high of 12 in January 2019 to 0.4 in October 2021. This indicates our property market where the supply is less and the buyers are more. In December, only 50 houses were for sale, while 72 were bought, clearly showing a demand-supply gap in San Benito County. The sale prices, however, have remained largely stable, with the prices crossing 1 million in May 2021 and coming down just over 800,000 from June 2021 till now. Up next are the Santa Cruz statistics of 2021 for single-family homes, where the average days on the market have come down by 25% from 40 days in February 2021 to 31 days in December 2021. The sale to list price at 106%. The months of inventory fell from almost 4 months in January 2019 to about 6 months in October 2021. The number of single family homes sold was 92 while 133 houses were sold, clearly indicating odd market trend where supply is less and the demand is more. The prices have largely remained stable from April 2021 at around $1.25 million. That's all for this week, folks. If you need a Bay Area realtor you can trust, call me now. See you soon in the next episode. Until then, stay safe and mask up.